Okay, my first guest on the Lokpal controversy is the senior Congress MP, senior lawyer of the Supreme Court, a former chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Law. Abhishek Manu Singhvi joins me. Appreciate your joining us, Dr. Singhvi. You've come out very strongly against the Lokpal decision to move a tender calling for ordering 7 BMW cars for all the members of the Lokpal of India. You've called it a tragic irony for an anti-corruption body. Why have you used those words? Because the Lokpal sources have told us that all they are asking for is parity with Supreme Court judges' conditions. And since Supreme Court judges' service conditions allow them to have BMW cars, why can't the Lokpal also have a BMW car?
Rajdeep, firstly, your voice was frequently broken, though I've got the gist of your question. Let me also answer it by stepping back for 15 seconds and telling you that there is a personal long association with this. Not only did my father invent the word Lokpal and Lokayukt, but he crusaded for it in the 60s. And by a sheer coincidence, in late 99, in late 2000, mid 2000, I happened to chair the committee which gave the report on the Lokpal. So there's been a long association. I am going to, you see, this point about the BMW is really relatively trivial, but it has become a peg to hang the comment or the complaint about. The real thing is they are welcome to their BMWs, and I know that judges have entitlement to it, and I'm not really grudging them the BMWs. The real thing is that this is an institution with a huge underperformance, and I'll share some shocking statistics with you. It is an institution which has focused on the most petty of officials. It has let off anybody remotely resembling a middle level, much less a high level official or politician. It has practiced opacity, selective disclosures, and it has passed on a lot of complaints to the CBC, CBI, which it is actually supposed to supervise and which are much more supposedly under their political masters. So I'll make good each of these comments as I go along, but this is the real reason why there is a reaction that, look, here you have in a sense, a group of people who came to power at least partially on this campaign. Mr. Modi did nothing about it after passing the Lokpal Act from 2013 to 19, 6 long years. And in 6 years of inactivity after passing the act. And from 19 to now, that is barely 6 years, you have had 34 investigations, Rajdeep. 3, 4, and 7, a total of 7 prosecutions, sanctions granted. I mean, this, you might as well not have a Lokpal. And all of these have involved petty officials.
1 minute. You know, these numbers, sir, just a minute. Sir, just a minute. The official data on the Lokpal website shows 6,955 complaints received since 2019. Preliminary inquiry ordered into 289 cases. 170 complaints sent to CBC for inquiry, 109 to CBI. So the Lokpal is claiming that they are actually doing some work. You seem to suggest that it is a completely ineffective body.
But I'm glad my voice is getting to you because your voice is hardly getting to me. I'm getting it in bits and snatches. But again, getting the gist of your question, you know, the statistics are two-faced. They are true both sides. 90% of complaints they receive are rejected on, you know what? On a supposedly wrong format. The ones which are entertained, a huge majority is passed on to CBC and CBI. The only 2 political leaders who have at all been proceeded against very readily and promptly are Mahua, Moitra and Soren. Both on a complaint by the same person, Mr. Dubey. No major ruling party, not a single ruling party person has faced an investigation. Yes, Hemant Soren, my apologies. No major BJP leader has faced an investigation, much less a prosecution sanction. And what is very interesting is that of the 5 complaints filed against the Prime Minister, 1 was formally, with a reasoned order, rejected. The status of 4 others is not known. And when they have other persons, they promptly put on the portal, on the website, the status. In a large number of cases, you have opacity. You go to the portal, you will not get a response. You will not get what happened to complaint XYZ. So all of them, so you should be saying actually, Rajdeep, 100 received, 90 rejected for wrong format, 10 sent, 5 sent to CBI, 5 entertained. This is the response on these 5. That's not available. When they want selectively, they will publish
No, no,
it, like
doctor.
in the Mahua Mitra
No, no,
case
but doctor.
and the Hemant Soren case.
Dr. Singhvi, Dr. Singhvi, the Lokpal is headed by a former Supreme Court judge, Justice Khanwilkar. All the members of them are leading judges. They have been appointed by a committee that includes the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition, a nominee of the Chief Justice or the Chief Justice himself, and an eminent jurist. Where does the flaw lie then? You've got top people in the country appointing the Lokpals. They themselves include a senior Supreme Court judge. Are you saying these judges are also partly to blame? They are looking for BMWs, but they are not delivering justice. Is that your... and if they are, they are delivering it in a partisan manner. That's your argument.
You know, the partisan manner will come if you start dealing with them. There is no scope for partisan manner because I'm not dealing with any complaint against you. The partisanship, if at all, can be shown only in a Mahua Mitra or a Hemant Soren case, where it has been shown. Where is the question of showing partisanship where there is no entertainment? Now, take, for example, 5 complaints. I give the Prime Minister complete benefit of doubt, you can reject all 5. 1 is rejected, 4 we don't know the fate of. We don't have a reasoned order. I'm giving an example. Tell me a single ruling party. There are many complaints against ruling party members in various activities, etc. Tell me a single one. All the few which have had prosecution complaints or investigation are bank officials, clerks, somebody taking a bribe, middle level, maximum. And let me tell you, an institution is ultimately only as good or bad as the long-term vision you have for it as its member and leader. It is you who have to give a direction. It is you who have to, you know how things change in institutions.
Sir, how would you... No, 1 minute. Sir, you said your father was the first to envisage it. You said you were part of the committee on law which tried to bring the Lokpal to life, as it were. Now you're telling me that the flaw lies in the leadership, the flaw lies in the lack of direction. I maintain, as I said to you, that many of these are former judges. Is the problem with the people who are in the Lokpal that they feel eternally grateful to whoever appoints them and therefore do not act? Or is the flaw in the institution and the way it has been framed itself?
Yes, a very important question. That's the heart of the matter.
Why do we need another anti-corruption body?
It's a hard... Exactly. You know, Sherlock Holmes once said, somebody said, the dog did not bark. So he says, that's the special thing to be investigated. You are envisaged, let me tell you, this started with the Swedish concept of parliamentary ombudsman. There was no anti-corruption, anti-bribery system in that. This anti-bribery corruption is a modification of the original conception of Lokpal. That was only on maladministration. Now today, you have to be a watchdog. You have to be a genuine watchdog, which if it doesn't bite, it must at least bark. You can't be a somnolent. I won't use the word lapdog, but I will say you can't be somnolent. You have to be vigilant. Can you be vigilant if you are doing 34 investigations and 7 prosecution complaints in 5 years, 6 years? You tell me. And you have to stand up to authority. T.N. Seshan was not a very liked man, and he did a lot of wrong also, according to me. But he did make an institution something to reckon with. You need to... Also, I blame the government. Apart from
so that's the problem, that you need a Lokpal who will stand up to the establishment. Dr. Singhvi, therefore, then the issue is that the people who populate the Lokpal want BMW cars at taxpayers' expense, but will not stand up to the establishment. That's the issue.
Look. The cars, let me assume they're entitled to.
I don't want a lapdog. I want a watchdog.
I have no problem.
I want a watchdog, not a lapdog.
I have no problem with the cars. Although that's a peg to hang a story on, it really brings out the akrosh of the public. If judges are entitled to series 3 or 5, let them be entitled to it. But if they are entitled to it, the taxpayer is paying for them. I have no problem there also. You have to act. You tell me anybody in this country knows about the Lokpal? Anybody in this country has uncovered corruption through the Lokpal? Anybody in this country has really treats them or thinks of them as an effective watchdog? You are looking at normal. This can be done by a CBC. It can be done, in fact, by an intra-departmental vigilance officer. What you are doing? You were supposed to strike terror in the hearts, let me be very clear, of the middle level and the plus above that. You know, when Lee Kuan Yew became Prime Minister of Singapore, he didn't have a Lokpal. But he said, look, I will ensure that the fear of God strikes those in my senior people who indulge in this. Singapore was 5 times more corrupt than India in that time in the 60s. Now you have to strike some terror. Here is an institution which is understaffed. They don't have a director of public prosecutions yet. Do you know that? So they have not carved out. I would have been anxious as a Lokpal or a Lokpal member to carve out a niche for myself. What it has become is another government department quietly in the backdrop, not really discharging the anti-corruption super heavyweight institution envisaged that on which Anna Hazare, the entire AAP movement, and partially the BJP rode to power. Even Lokayuks, let me tell you.
Yes, aided by the Congress, which agreed. Aided by the Congress, which agreed to have a Lokpal at the time.
We have always agreed to many things, bona fide, in the good administration of the country, and they are used to bite back at us. Please bite at us, but also bite at those who are supposed to bite at. There you are not functioning. Even Lokayuks at the state level have functioned more effectively. You have examples in Karnataka. You have examples in Karnataka. You have examples in other states. This Lokpal institution at the center must immediately revamp itself.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there, Dr. Singhvi. Appreciate you taking the time off. I know you're on holiday. I won't tell our viewers where you are, but that perhaps explains part of the audio problem that we were initially having. But I appreciate, Dr. Singhvi, you joining us here on the show tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you and happy Diwali. Thank you.